Man digs a hole in a mountain and turns it into an amazing apartment. You probably watch these videos of people carving and creating amazing things out of rock. Well, turns out carving rock is easy and it takes a lot of precision, hard work, dedication, and strength. In today's video, we'll take a look at how a single man managed to carve an apartment out of an entire mountain. Stick around and watch this video right till the end because we guarantee you'll be left mind blown. So, if you want to have your mind blown and look at what great carving skills and technique is capable of, make sure you watch this video right till the end. If you've studied your history well, you'll know that people's first homes were caves. Even to this day, people make homes and hotels out of caves that attract a lot of visitors. Our first clip is of a man who not only built his own cave house, but also rents it out. The American Grant Johnson was no less of an enthusiast. He'd always been kind of special. When he was a kid, he got expelled from school, so he couldn't get proper education and consequently find a good job. The only thing left for him was to live in a trailer and grow food by himself. Back in the 90s, Grant started working as a geologist. He settled down in a small town of Moab, Utah that was a coal miner's town. So the guy quickly taught himself to work on and under the ground. That was when he came up with the idea to build a house in a cave. He couldn't afford a normal home anyway, while living in a cave is not just cool but also pretty cheap. The guy didn't want to live like a caveman though. He wanted his cave to be just as comfortable as any other modern home, and he succeeded. Even though it had taken him almost 25 years, the result was totally worth it. The house ended up being huge, almost 5,000 square feet, which sometimes makes the owner feel lonely. So he's always glad to see some guests at a reasonable price, of course. His doors are always open to tourists and fans of unusual homes, so the cave is not just Grant's home but also a profitable business enterprise. The interior is quite minimalistic, so it does look like an actual cave. Grant didn't even bother too much about finishing the walls. He just grinded and washed the surfaces and then applied a special coating. He only laid some lino on the floors to make it more comfortable to walk inside the apartment. There is not that much furniture in the apartment. It's all pretty basic and inexpensive, but Grant is used to it and his guests are okay with it too. Most importantly, there's electricity and proper sewage in his apartment, so his guests don't have to start a fire like prehistoric people did. The home appliances are pretty high tech though. There's a fridge, a stove, and a sink in the kitchen. What else do you need? Each room is decorated in a unique style. The living room is painted purple and pink. The main color in the bedroom is yellow, while the kitchen is mainly white. There's a garden next to the house where Grant grows plants and crops. He also breeds horses, pigs, and chickens. The man is happy about his life and harmony with nature, and he shares his knowledge and experience with his visitors. In our next clip, the Chinese guy called Mr. Tiger took it to the next level. He didn't just move into a cave but dug it out himself in a mountain and turned it into a comfy apartment. The 35-year-old man had been working as an engineer in a big city but then decided to move back to his hometown. He didn't have a place of his own, so he decided to do what animals do when they got nowhere to live: dig a cozy hole on a mountain slope. He found a chalk hill that suited him and got down to business, relying on all kinds and sorts of modern construction tools. It took him 2 months to dig out just one small room and hang the front door. Finishing just one room completely on his own took him almost a year, including painting the walls, ceiling, and leveling the floor. The next things to do were the wiring and a huge window. After that, the man started making shelves and drag right on the walls. This painstaking work required a lot of patience and precision because Mr. Tiger wanted his home to be not only functional but also beautiful. The trickiest thing was the sewage system, but the hard-working engineer found the right solution. Then the time had come to think about the furniture, and the man used all his skills to make a bed and a computer desk out of the wood he picked up in the forest. Like just about everyone in China, Mr. Tiger loves new technology, so he hung a solar-powered lamp outside of his cave apartment. After digging out the room, he had a lot of cylindrical stones left over, so he used them to decorate his front yard. He made a flower bed and a small barrier, later adding a water slide and a nice looking bowl. After 1.5 years of hard work, the bedroom was finished, so it was time to make the kitchen and other rooms. This guy took a different route and turned a 250 million year old cave into a comfortable apartment with sewage, heated floors, and internet access. The caveman Angelo Mastro Pietro made this dream come true. He made his home in this 700-year-old cave in Worcestershire and now is just as comfy and functional as any modern apartment. It took him $160,000 and 1,000 hours to bring comfort to this wild place. The former head of an Australian HR company had decided to leave the life he'd been living behind and go underground in Worcestershire. Back in 2007, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and the man was devastated. But then he decided to move to a place where he could live a happier and healthier life and invested about £160,000 into making a new home for himself. According to Angelo, his diagnosis was like a catalyst that made him realize he had to change his lifestyle and take care of his health. Originally coming from Worcestershire himself, the man had first learned about the cave back in 1999. It had been used as a dwelling for more than 300 years but was then abandoned in the 1940s. Master Pietro bought the oldest cave dwelling in Europe. Working on his own, he spent a lot of money to turn the cave into a nice apartment. Just finishing the doors between the rooms took him 11 days. Master Pietro didn't need any planning or construction permissions, so he could just let his creativity flow. The ambitious project received some press coverage in the British media and just blew the audiences away. "I like complicated tasks," Angelo commented. "My last name means the Master of Stones, so I guess this is just my vocation. I can tell without a shadow of doubt that I'm just as passionate about it as I was about my company. I'm proud and happy." This was really a creative task. Sunlight floods the apartment through giant glass windows on the huge terrace. You can check out the vines climbing up the walls. The huge terrace, cozy, secluded rooms, and white walls make the house look really special, and here's even a chimney. The cave formed on a sandstone rock, and its surroundings wouldn't look out of place in a new Lord of the Rings movie. Angelo Mastro Pietro put a lot of physical effort into this project, which also improved his health condition. Even though it's pretty much as isolated as it gets, Angelo didn't turn away from electricity, sewage, or even the internet. According to him, despite all the comfort, the apartment still feels like a cave. Watching these videos feels so inspiring. It wants me to pick up my axe and look for a mountain to carve a home out of. But what about you? Do you also want to live in a cave and carve a home out of one? Or you've already had this idea before and you no longer want to move into your cave house? Maybe this video will inspire you to make that big move. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Well guys, that's all for this video. We hope you enjoyed watching some surreal time lapses. If you did enjoy this video and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell for the latest notifications and updates. Thanks for watching and we'll see you again.